Righto, guys. Race number 7 on the card, the last race we want to have a look at. City of Palmerston North, Awapuni Gold Cup over the 2,000 metres. This brings together a nice betting field. Vernon Me, $3. Deserves one. Tiptronic, 3.8. The Group 1 performer. Hypnos, very good last time, 4.5. Zola Express, 8.5. Masetto, $11. Even Chance, 12. Langkawi, 18. The Mitigator, good old Mitigator, $26. Hunter Pence, 31. Spine Tingle, 31. And the Mare, the outsider here at 50 to 1 BP. Boy, is there a more deserving horse here than our favourite in Vernon Me?
Well, 3 seconds in the Group 1s at his last 3 starts. Seville Classic, Kirby Dyke Bone Crusher. And boy, hasn't he run a race in every single one of those, has Vernon Me, on practically 3 different track conditions too. So he has a couple of things in his favour, doesn't he? He has obviously a 2 kilo difference on what I think is his biggest rival in the race, and that's the Group 1 winner in Tiptronic. And that could be just enough. That could there's not much separating these 2 horses, and the fact that there's 2 kilos between these 2 runners could be the ultimate difference at the end of the day around Vernon Me and Tiptronic. Look, Tiptronic's a runner that has obviously won the Group 1. He's been 4th in a most recent Group 1 out of Ellerslie. If you looked at his left-handed record, you might think, he hasn't got the greatest left-handed record, but what offsets that is he actually won a Group 1 left-handed, and he's also been placed Group 1 left-handed in both of those efforts out of Te Rapa. So I wouldn't think that would be a reason to sort of get off the Tiptronic train. Opie's aboard with a good draw. Now, the speed's interesting, and it's a very similar sort of speed map to last time that all these horses met with the Mitigator in the race. He's a horse that you obviously gravitate towards being up in or near the lead. He does race well here at Awapuni, also does the Mitigator. So you've got Tiptronic, Vernon Me, the Mitigator, and another horse who could be a part of this battle is Even Chance, who certainly has shown his liking for finding the top. Now, he's drawn in barrier number 11, and he has run his best races by going forward. So you could imagine not going to try and change that with his most recent pattern, gaining a placing in Kaimai Stakes. So he looks to be the pressure on early down past the judge the very first time. That does mean that Vernon Me is going to have to try and find a spot from out wide, and Tiptronic could be just sitting in that sweet spot. So it's a good race, but there are horses in this race that have been Group 1 placed and Group 1 winners, and that being Tiptronic and Vernon Me, and it's hard to get away from them. Yeah,
you're sticking to the top of the book here, Aidan. What are your thoughts on the Gold Cup?
You have to be with Vernon Me. Don't forget he also ran second in a Living Classic, didn't he, going back? So I think he's actually had 4 Group 1 second placings. But like you say, Tiptronic's the Group 1 yardstick here, with a couple of Group 1s to say, well, Vernon Me's beaten him home in the last 2 and now beats him 2 kilograms better off under the set weights and penalties. He just looks beautifully placed here, Vernon Me, and it really should be his race the more I look at it. Just on that speed, you think that Tiptronic from barrier 2 will go forward, and then you've got Masetto going forward to sit on their outside. Now, the horse has drawn the last 3 barriers, 9, 10, 11, are Vernon Me, the Mitigator, Even Chance. So Vernon Me's got, if they want to get a position, they've got to cross Tiptronic and cross Masetto to get somewhere, and then you know that the Mitigator and Even Chance are both going to go forward, and then it'll be one of those 2 that leads. I actually had Even Chance as the likely leader in the race, but just drawn the outside. If there's real intent from the Mitigator, then maybe Even Chance has to sit second. If there's not real intent shown out of the gates by Vernon Me, it could find itself in a 3-wide position. So I think they've got to get forward, they've got to cross Tiptronic, and from there, the race should be his.
$3 Vernon Me. Aidan's tipping against Opie, so that didn't take note of that. Hypnos BP, right in commission, 2,000 metres at Awapuni. Has been a sweet spot before, I think, for the horse, and was good last time, just knocked off.
Yeah, and in the right sort of form, isn't he? Raced last weekend, for instance, and running second in the Japan Trophy. He won a Taranaki Cup here at this venue a couple of starts ago at Awapuni when that race was moved to Awapuni, and that was over the 2,000 metres. So, look, he's just a good, honest galloper. And he's a horse that could benefit with how the speed might be, because he's going to just pull away from that. He has a middle barrier draw where he can just watch it all unfold. He can watch all these horses from coming out wide and coming underneath them. They can just sit pretty midfield and let all that happen in front of him. And if that is the case, and he gets the right run into it, well, I think he has to be a danger, because he's running in career best form is Hypnos. Look, Langkawi's an interesting horse in this race too, because he seems to have found some great form at the moment. He was the Kaimai Stakes winner a couple of starts ago. He was second in the South Waikato Cup. He's won 6 from 44, and he's just running in a good vein of form at the moment. Is Langkawi. He sits at around $18, and then you've got sort of the CD Raider and Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence is always in and around them in sort of the Central District's Cups races at a big quote. And what about the money for Zola Express? Looks like you've had some money there, Thad. Yep. 10s into $8.50. This is a step up for her. Again, she will be aided by pressure around her. She doesn't need to get involved in any of that. Let it all unfold. Try and get a nice suck run, 3 back the fence, somewhere like that. She ran 5th in the Cuddle Stakes last time out behind Cinerama. She goes up in distance on the weekend. But yeah, interesting to see the money for her, Thad.
Yeah, look, she's always a horse or mare that's well supported during the week. She's got a big fan base to Zola Express. She's in again. They are in again, rather, and yeah, very well supported, 10 into 850. So actually the worst result as it stands. BP can obviously see my screen here because there's a good nibble for Langkawi at $18. The Mackay team going very well at the moment, and Langkawi at $18, tempting a few. Aidan, some wise, the Gold Cup. You're going with the favourite by the sounds?
Yeah, I am. I'm with Vernon May. Actually ahead of Tiptronic. It should get just a cosy run in behind them. But when Tiptronic's won those Group 1s, he's been able to get to the front and then dictate. I just don't think that's going to be available for him this one. There seems to be really good speed early in this Awapuni Gold Cup. I understand the support around Zola Express. That Taranaki Cup second was good. He's a Wanganui Cup winner who's stepping up from a 5th placing in a Group 3 Cuddle Stakes into a more suitable middle distance assignment, but does need to improve to be turning the tables, I think, on Hypnos last time out. And Langkawi beat home even chance in that Kaimai Stakes and has gone on. But maybe the other horses that are just bubbling below the very good ones. Yep. The more I've heard the discussions and look into this, it really is, even with that tricky draw, as long as there's real intent out of the barriers to get to the fence, this horse will be winning, Vernon Me.
Oh, I like it. Here he is, Mr. Confident. Are you that confident, BP, Vernon Me?
I'm not.
No.
I find it to race between Vernon Me and Tiptronic. I'm just trying to worry. I'm just worried about where he is in the run, and it has to be that intent because if there isn't, he could get in a little bit of a sticky spot, couldn't he, Vernon Me? So if there's that intent early and he can find that position, I think with what he's done in the most 3 recent Group 1s, it's an obvious form reference, isn't it? And with 2 kilos to spare on Tiptronic, I'm playing the Quinella. I'm just going to play it safely here on these 2 runners, in Tiptronic and Vernon Me, and take the Quinella on those 2 runners. And if they both get the right run, I think they'll be hard to beat.
Yeah, no, it sounds a decent plan. I'm going to take an on the bubbles Vernon Me multi on the back of Aidan Rodley's comments and come find him if one of them loses on Saturday.